Hi, this is Tanya Poole, and I just wanted to speak with you for just a few moments. This hopefully won't be a long video. I have been online most of the morning on the internet, on Facebook, Instagram, different social media platforms, and I had forgotten that today was or is what some people would call Columbus Day. And and I noticed that a lot of people are acknowledging, thankfully, that Christopher Columbus did not discover the Americas, and also noticing that a lot of people are beginning to refer to this day as Indigenous Peoples Day. And so it reminded me of something that happened in my life a few years ago, back in 2010. At the time, I want to say my daughter was in the fourth grade, if I'm not mistaken. And I had taken her to school that morning. And when I walked into her classroom, I saw the numbers on the board 1492. I said 1492. And as I was walking out to the car, it just hit me. Oh, 1492. Oh, this must be Columbus Day. Oh, they must be getting ready to talk about Christopher Columbus. And so when my daughter came home from school and I talked to her about, the usual conversation, how was your day? What did you learn today? And she shared with me all about Christopher Columbus and how wonderful he was and how awesome of a man he was. And if it weren't for him, no one would have known about America or the Americas, and just how awesome of a wonderful man he was. And it really was shocking to me because here it is, 2010 at the time. And, we often make the assumption that education progresses, that some of the things that we were taught when we were younger that we knew was not factual, that, that people would have changed that teaching by now. But it let me know that that is not the case. And so if any of you have ever had an argument with a child, you know how difficult it is, even though you know you're right, when they believe something to be true or they've been taught that something is true, it's very difficult to change their minds. So we were sitting in the car, she and I, and we were in a parking lot, getting ready to go into the store. And I said, before we go into the store, we have to have this conversation. I cannot, just let her continue to believe that Christopher Columbus was the best man ever of all time. So I'm doing my mommy thing, like, trying to give all the reasons why, Christopher Columbus was not all that she was led that he was, or led to believe that he was. And she said something to me that really helped me to understand and remember what it's like to have a child like mine. She said, "But mommy, why does he have a holiday if he wasn't a good person? Because you only give holidays to good people. So why would he have a holiday if he was not a good person?" And I understood her logic, and it helped me to see how we package these cute little stories and these cute little lies to our children, and then we're upset when they believe it, or we're upset when the outcome of that is not what we had hoped. And so, because the innocence in them can't understand how you have a holiday for someone who should not be celebrated. And so it took some time. I mean, we were sitting in that car for a while before she really understood that, wow, that there were other people here before Christopher Columbus, and that he was not worthy of a holiday. And just that scenario is what inspired the African School. That was in October of 2010. And between October of 2010 and January 2011, I began to plot in my mind, how can I create something that helps not only my daughter, but other children to learn the other aspects of history and the other parts of our stories and our history that is typically not taught in school. And so January 2011 came, and I came up with the name The African School. And basically the name The African School just came because I didn't I knew that I wanted to have the first event in February for Black History Month, but I didn't want to call it the Black School or the Black History School or, anything like that. I knew that I wanted what was taught to encompass all of our stories, our global stories, wherever quote unquote Black people are, people of African descent, indigenous people of the world, melanated people. I knew that I wanted to be able to include all of our stories, so I didn't want the name to limit us. So, or to limit my programming. So I named it the African School. And that very first workshop, we had several children to show up, and it was such an amazing event. You never know what something's going to turn out to be. So that first event, we did a workshop called Word, Sound, and Art. And I brought in artists and poets, musicians, drama teachers to really teach our history through their art form. And then since then, we created a workshop called Black Power and Civil Rights, where we brought in people who participated in both movements, the Black Power movement, Civil Rights movement, to actually tell their stories from their perspectives because they were there. We did another workshop called Ghana, South Africa, and the Caribbean, and that was a wonderful one because we brought in people from those places to really tell us their story, their history, their culture, and let us taste their foods as well, which was really nice. And so we've done several events and several workshops, and it started out as a program just for children. And the more events we had, the more parents and other adults began to come in and say, hey, can I participate? Can I just sit and join in? I won't disturb the event for the children. I'll just sit in the back and listen. And so since then, we realized, okay, we have to have workshops where adults are invited, or workshops specifically for adults. And so the African School has grown since then. And since then, we have also had an online summer school. But I really didn't want to talk about all of that, even though I am. But the purpose of this video was that I woke up this morning and didn't even realize, here it is, 5 years later, 2010 to 4 years later, or whatever. And here it is, 5 years later. And wow, what inspired the African School? Here we are at Columbus Day, and I didn't even realize it, and how important it is to celebrate those moments in your life that inspire you to do something new, that inspire you to make changes, that inspire you to create, to impact the lives of others, to impact your own life. I could have just said, well, I'm just going to teach my daughter about Christopher Columbus and then we're going to move on. But that moment and that conversation that I had with my daughter in the car that evening led to me creating the African School. And so it's not really an inspirational video, like I'm going to inspire you to do great things, please. But I'm just, at this moment right now, I'm just remembering that the African School started out of this moment, out of, Columbus Day, and having this conversation with my daughter. And it's a celebratory moment for me. I'm so, I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm excited, that moment created, has impacted the lives of so many others. So I want to invite you to go to my website, tanyapoole.com, and click on the African School tab and just sign up there. If you do that, then I will send you for free my ebook called 10 Easy Ways That You Can Teach Your Child. A lot of times we think that teaching our children is something so difficult or only certified teachers can do, but actually we are our children's first teachers. We are the ones who they come to first. When they have questions, they watch us, they listen to us. We are the ones that teach them first. So I have this book, 10 Easy Ways That You Can Teach Your Child. And if you go to the African School tab on my website, which is tanyapoole.com, and sign up there, you will get that for free. Also, there is a curriculum that I have, a group of collection of lessons called Agriculture and Business, which covers everything from, how Tulsa, the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jim Crow, and how that impacted Black entrepreneurship. I'm trying to think because this video is so impromptu, but it's a set of 4 lessons in there. We talk about George Washington Carver and his genius. There's so many lessons in there, and it comes with assessments and activity instructions and journal sheets. And so if you go to my website, tanyapoole.com, you can also find that information there about that curriculum. But I really just wanted to talk to you. A lot of people ask me what inspired the African School, or why I started it, or how it came to be. And I woke up this morning and I realized it's Columbus Day, so-called, and I said, wow, this is what started it. This is what started it back in 2010. So I just wanted to share that moment with you. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you at tanyapoole.com. You can also follow The African School at facebook.com/The African School. And I am on Instagram at The Tanya Poole is my hashtag, not hashtag, what do you call it? Little A. Follow me there. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and love.